So I am at my home away from home with the one and only Brenda Simmons. She's the CEO or the founder and executive director of the Southampton African American Art Museum. And we're in Southampton right now together. We met about a year ago when the museum was first opening last June. How are you, Brenda?
I'm doing great.
Yay! So she just flew in straight from St. Martin.
Boy, my arm's tired now.
Yeah, for real. She flew in early from St. Martin. She's there the whole winter, and then she's gonna tell us some good news, like some big news, actually. Let's just start there. Like, why did you fly back early to New York from St. Martin?
A group called Museum Hue came and searched me out over the summer in June, and they wanted to come do a docuseries. They're doing a docuseries trying to promote a lot of BIPOC museums that have not been exposed properly. So they came with a whole big TV production.
Wow.
I was so amazed. I'm talking about TV crew and the whole nine. They were here for like 3 hours.
Wow.
Fast forward, about 3 weeks ago, I'm in St. Martin, I get a email saying that the docuseries is going to be premiered in New York City.
That's so great.
So I switched my flight. Flew in Tuesday, stayed home to repack. My driver came and picked me up on Thursday at noon, and the actual event was that evening.
And you sent me a photo of what you were wearing. So
oh, yes.
You were so like a goddess statue, just like looking so proud and confident and beautiful.
Homemade from Guyana.
Oh, wow.
That dress was custom made from Guyana.
Tell me more about the dress. I mean, I'm all about fashion here.
It was a beautiful dress. It's Guyana. It's from Guyana. So it's a place I go to in St. Martin.
Oh.
On the French side in Marigold. And they'll custom design a dress for you.
Well, when I come to St. Martin, you'll have to take me there, and I'm going to get a custom dress or two.
Absolutely.
Obviously, and wear it on the red carpet.
Absolutely.
Ah,
it's really beautiful.
I love
really,
that.
Really nice.
Oh,
nice. Yeah.
I'm going to have to take a triple look at that photo then. So look at the detail on that dress.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, okay, well, congratulations. That's epic. And now it's just a ripple effect. But, now that we just talked about a glitz glam thing that happened and that continues to happen now and unfold, let's circle back around. Where are you from?
I'm actually right here from Southampton, born and raised.
Yeah.
Yes.
Born and raised Southampton. What?
I actually live right down the block from the museum here, which is at 245 North Sea Road.
Okay, so when you're in the Hamptons, make sure you come here, look at the hours, check it out. There's a new exhibition that I just saw downstairs. It's pretty epic. And wait, oh my God. So we're going to go all over the place. Tell the story about the 10th graders and the kids who are featured in the museum, like local.
Yes. I decided to have a Black History program. I have an issue with a month because we're more than a month of Black History.
I feel that.
Okay?
I'm like, it's so like Hallmark with like that whole month thing.
For real.
Like ramping everyone up, a big thing, and then it's just like, wait.
And it's 28 days, the shortest month of the freaking year, right? But anyway. So I decided to have this Black History program. And mainly it was targeted for the youth and for schools. That's what was the main thing it was targeted for. So I was able to set that program up before I left because I spend my winters in St. Martin. But I have a wonderful, wonderful dear friend who's a co-conspirator. I'm shouting her out, Dr. Georgette Greer-Key. She's amazing. And she said that she would stand in for me while I was gone. So we scheduled 4 or 5 school trips here. And before it all happened, Hayground School, which is a private school here in Watermill, I believe, came, and the teacher came, and I spoke with her. And before it all said and done, to make a long story short, she actually created a curriculum for her students from this museum.
Wonderful.
And they came twice, 2 Mondays in a row. And with that, in the same time, this gentleman named Frank Bowl, he was going around trying to film people of color who are involved in museums, because he teaches a class. He has, a school where he teaches young people to get more involved with museums. So he wanted to just come to interview me, because what he does, he interviews people that looks like us, and he goes back and he shares with them to encourage them to get involved with museums. So when he came, long story short, this is how actually the Black History program evolved between the school from the Hayground, the teachers from Hayground, and then Frank Bowl also knows, and he heard from the grapevine that I love to promote young people. So that was the other thing that in the conversation when he was here, I said, you know, Frank, let's just do a Black History Month and let's promote the young people. Let the young people have an exhibition downstairs. So that's kind of how it happened.
Yeah, I think it's really important. Two things. One, the pieces, you were in St. Martin and you weren't here and someone else is here, but then the news came and you arranged it so they would come on the same day and then see the kids, and it really sparked some vulnerability, and people are visual. So it's like you can talk all day to people, but when they see something in motion and they feel the kids' natural responses of like what's happening in the moment, it's so moving. So
It really is.
you were like masterminding in St. Martin. Well, like it's so visionary and beautiful to just to hear and watch it unfold. So congratulations.
Thank you. And it was just really, really it was a mastermind. I have to say that because when Newsday TV reached out to me to interview me, I said, oh, well, I'm in St. Martin, but you can go to the museum and interview. And that's the time, like you said, I had the Southampton Elementary School come at the same time News TV came, Newsday TV.
Yeah.
So they filmed it, and it's endearing. I mean, if anybody go on Newsday TV, you actually can find and see the actual video. It was just amazing, really, really heart-filling for me to see the young people. And this is where I'm really, really pushing this because, as we know, they're trying to erase our history.
What?
They're trying.
No, I know. I'm like, like that's gonna happen. I mean, any dance move you see, you know who created those dance moves. All the soul.
But they've taken our books, they've taken all the things out of the schools. And so this is like my advocacy, my activism against that.
Right.
To make sure.
Yeah.
And you know, these young people are amazing. You know, these young people are really, really amazing. They get it. And so, you know, as an older person who's been around for a long time and know what I know, seeing these young people get it and express what they express, it really is heart-filling. It just gives you hope. It really kind of gives you hope.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I really want to dive into what you just said, but first, the other thing I wanted to mention was, you know, I'm in the Web3 blockchain community, and I mentioned this to you last year when we were here at the museum and there was the exhibition and everything going on. You know, I was really excited about like, you know, we should have you in some spaces like on X Spaces and with like BIPOC community and me connecting you with some like BIPOC artists because it'd be really cool. We talked about like I could like curate with the, you know, with the screens here and we could have some like NFT like Web3 artists, BIPOC artists, and have an exhibition here and produce something. And like, you know, we talked about like DJing, music, and like the whole thing. And I think it'd be so cool to produce something here right in Southampton. I mean, there's a lot of international artists that can be involved, even if they're not here, because we can put their digital collectibles on the screens and I could like curate it and people can come, but also we can like stream it in the metaverse for the people who aren't here on an international level. So follow up with me about that so we can actually make that happen. But there are some like musicians in the Web3 space, and there's some like people who I know would want to support the African American Museum here in the Hamptons. So I'm really excited to make that happen and to pay it forward because there's no way we're erasing this history. And I know how important it is, you know, for your voice and people of color, their voices, and, you know, like where I'm from, Michigan, and just I was surrounded by Motown and I was surrounded by a lot of African culture growing up. And it's so weird, like African American people love me and I just love them. And like so many of my friends who are like the realest people. I was just telling you about the Blind Boys of Alabama. Like they've been my friends forever and they're just so real. And they like, I'm like that. And it's like, you know, they like it. And like, and it's not a lip curl or like, you're being too loud. It's like, no girl, like show me your soul. And it's like, I'm Greek. So it's like, you know, it just feels like just being raw and real. And you want to be authentic in life, you know, and like not no filter, because even when there's no
Right.
filter, there's a filter of like,
Mhm.
you know, some sophistication in class and
Mhm.
mindfulness of our manners and how we were raised, but
Mhm.
also there's this boldness about life and like how beautiful the colors are, like to show that side of you too, you know?
Yeah.
So there is no erasing the history here, but I feel you. I hear you, and it's not happening. So let's make that happen. That'd really be cool. Let's talk about that more. But now circling back around, you were, you know, mentioning about, you know, forgetting history. So let's go to your roots again. So you're from Southampton,
Born and raised.
and then you got a job working for the mayor, and you worked for the mayor for 11 years. So let's talk about your experience of being in Southampton and working for the mayor.
You know, going back to being born and raised here, I've been here over 60 years. And so it's been an evolution to see the transformation. But I worked at the county for 25 years. I worked at a nonprofit as a family development worker. And then I became an assistant to the mayor in the village of Southampton. Shout out to Mayor Mark Epley. And so at that point, if I'm not mistaken, someone can correct me or do a Google or research if you want, but I think I was actually the first Black person they hired inside the office. They had Black people that worked on the, you know, the outside and the ground, etc. So that alone was, you know, sort of an experience as well. And, you know, just to say, it was very interesting that the mayor and I came from extremely different backgrounds. He came from Tennessee. And everybody knows kind of where Tennessee is.
I've been there.
And he experienced some different things, and I came from the civil rights movement. So that combination alone was interesting to find out who we were. You know, he grew up in a very different atmosphere with a lot of Ku Klux Klan, I'm going to say it, atmosphere.
sure.
And he even shared with me a lot of
Yeah.
stories that, you know, I won't even get into it now.
That's
But
another podcast.
That's a whole nother podcast.
We can totally go there on another
But
podcast.
the interesting thing about it was, and this is what I think is so key right now, even with us sitting
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
is that even the different backgrounds, you know, we can still find some common ground, you know, and we became real. I became like family, you know, to
Yeah.
to his family, you know. But working in the village, I definitely experienced a lot of different challenges. And one I'll just mention really quickly was when Barack Obama ran for president. When he ran for president, a lot of people in the office, I saw difference of them, and a lot of conversations that it was in my earshot, and even purposely.
Like what?
You want me to really go there?
I want to be really honest and go there for sure. Let's talk about it. Yeah.
One person said he will never be my president.
About Barack Obama.
About Barack. And then it was another incident. This is all going to be in my book. This is probably the first time I'm really going to share.
You have a book coming out too?
Yeah, not coming out. I've been working on it.
Me too. I have a new
years.
book. I have a new book. That's so cool. Do you know the title yet?
I'm going back and forth with the title.
Okay, cool.
You know, going back and forth with the title.
I'll buy your book.
But the bottom line is, I, as assistant to the mayor, I also was the recording secretary for the meetings, the board meetings twice a month. And generally I set up, you know, the mics and I do the recording, etc.
Yeah.
And then afterwards I take everything down, and we're there all day. So we generally have food come in. It's usually in the mayor's office. And generally they're during the executive section. I'm not allowed to go in executive session, but I will go in there.
Because you're a female?
No, because that's just
for the executives.
Executives only.
Got it.
So generally I go in to get me something to eat, and then either I sit back at my desk or I go home, because sometimes it's 10:30, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So this particular time I go into, I can't believe I'm going to share this with everybody right now. I go into the mayor's office to get something to eat. And yeah, I'm going to say it. The attorney at that time, I'm fine.
Okay.
It's just that this is the first time I'm actually saying, I'm not going to say names though.
All right.
The attorney that was attorney at the time, he didn't see me come in, and he was sharing this horrible, disgusting joke about Barack Obama.
Oh.
And I walk in and I freeze. I'm like, what the heck? And the mayor sees me, and he really, I mean, he turned on all colors of red. And I just got my sandwich and turned around.
Yeah.
But it was so many other incidents that happened during that time that was very, very challenging. I was another gentleman came in. He's an older guy. He comes in sometime. He doesn't know how to record, to copy anything. So I usually get up very politely and help him out. And he's no longer with us, but he's a little on the first side. So we joke around or whatever. And I usually just take something and copy it for him. This particular day, and I generally never look at what he copies because it's none of my business. I don't really care.
Right.
It's usually something concerning to an organization that he's involved with.
Yeah.
This particular reason, I don't know why, I looked at what he was getting ready to copy, and it was this Barack Obama looked like a monkey. It was some kind of horrible cartoon.
Right.
And I looked at him.
He was copying them.
He was copying it. I don't know what he was doing with it, but he was copying it to do whatever. And I look at him, he looked at me, and it was almost like I didn't say anything, but he was embarrassed because now I know what he was doing. But I copied it and gave it to him and went on. But these are things that I experienced and so much more. But on the positive note, I was able to take that position and be a benefit to my community. And not only that, I will share with you, this is the first African American site to be historically designated in the village of Southampton. And it is also the first Black barbershop to be transformed into a museum in the country. And I'm very proud of that, very proud of that. And in order to get a building historically designated, as a recording secretary, I was taking minutes, but I was taking notes. And there was a legislation that talked about how to historically designate a building. And they talk about aesthetics and blah, 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 but it was a small portion that said if it was significant to the community. And that's what I pulled out. On the other side of this building used to be a juke joint in a restaurant. I found an old juke joint singer. I found one of the band leaders. Now we're going back to the 40s and 50s, and I'll share again background of how this all started. But I was able to find them, interview them, and I went back before the Architect Review Board, and that's how this building got historically designated.
Congratulations. That's a lot of heart and soul.
Yes.
And history.
It is.
Heart, soul, and history.
Yes. And I think it's important for you all to know how this building even got started. A gentleman by the name of Emmanuel Seymour was the gentleman. He came through the Great Migration. This is in the late 40s and early 50s to escape Jim Crow. And he came here, I say he came here with a plan and anointed hands, because he was a barber and he's also a carpenter. And he came here and he purchased property in the Hamptons.
Where did he come from?
North Carolina.
Oh, North Carolina.
Came from North Carolina.
Okay.
And so that was, even when I give the tours and I say that, I hear myself say that, it just really inspires me to even think of that, how determination. He was coming here, uncharted path.
Yeah.
Didn't know. I think he probably had an idea where he was coming, to, but he came here, he built this building, he built his barbershop, half barbershop and a half beauty parlor. And my auntie was the beautician that was in the beauty parlor at the time. So when I was like 13 or 14 years old, I would come here to answer the phones for her and write appointments down to her. And there's a coffee shop. Was it Starbucks? Not Starbucks. Dunkin' Donuts is on the corner.
Oh.
That's been there a long time.
No, forget the Dunkin' Donuts. Okay, I appreciate you. My mom and dad love Dunkin' Donuts. It's just whatever. It's like a Michigan thing. But anyway, the McDonald's down the street is the nicest McDonald's I've ever seen in my whole life.
Really?
Yeah, with the shingles. I mean, I love that McDonald's. I want to go in that McDonald's and just like have a gourmet dinner because it's so beautiful. It's like it's all white. It looks like a mini house. It's McDonald's. It looks like in the post office is like the best post office in the world.
So I used to do coffee runs for her.
Right here at the Dunkin' Donut.
But that's what I'm saying. I used to call it the Greasy Spoon Diner.
Oh.
It's been there a long time. But fast forward, when I was assistant to the mayor, a letter came across his desk to tear this building down. So
Mm.
I took the letter into the mayor, and I was like, I'll be.
You thank God you were working there at the time.
I'm telling you, it's fate, right?
Fate. I was
It's
gonna say
fate.
that, fate.
It's absolutely fate.
Yeah.
So I took the letter into the mayor, and I said to him, I said, this is not going to happen. I'll be the crazy woman in front of the bulldozer. And I began to explain to him my
Hear
connection.
that? I'm gonna be the crazy woman.
Mhm,
That's so
mhm,
good. Like,
mhm.
this is what's gonna happen, and someone's like, that's not gonna happen,
Mm-mm,
actually.
mm-mm, mm-mm. And so that's how fast forward. But it took me 16 years to get this museum open. It was open Juneteenth, 2021. And the blessing of all of that, and I also want to shout out
Yeah.
Siamak Sammy is the architect that created this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful building. And he was with me almost that whole 16 years, encouraging me to keep going because you don't know how many
Really?
times I
And
felt
where
like
is he?
he's in Southampton. He's an architect in
Okay.
Southampton.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a dear friend.
We
Dear
were
friend.
wondering who
Yeah,
was the
see Max
architect
Sammy.
on
So I want to make sure I shout him out.
1000.
Um,
We'll put it, if he has a website, we'll put his links in the show notes so everyone can
okay, good.
tune in.
Good, good, good. So,
Look at his work.
like I said, it took me like 16 years to do this, and I forget where I was at now.
Dunkin' Donuts, running coffees, not gonna happen. Trailblazer, it's gonna be shut down, not happening, not gonna be shut down.
Right. So anyway,
Yeah.
So anyway, fast forward again, to I know what I was going to say. Juneteenth, 2021
Yeah.
was the grand opening of the museum, and it just so happened to be the same weekend President Biden made Juneteenth a national holiday.
Word.
And it was also the same weekend that they relieved the COVID
Right.
restrictions.
Right.
Because at one point, to let you know the challenges I had with this, the first challenge was the first contractor we had, he ended up getting arrested, and they had to take him off the case or off the job.
Wow.
And we won't get deep into that.
Right.
So at that point now, you had to wait to do the whole process of getting a new contract.
Yeah.
So it was really
admin stuff.
It was
Oh
heartbreaking.
God.
So then after we moved forward, then COVID came, and all the restrictions were down. You couldn't build, you couldn't do anything. So that was another delay.
Yeah.
Then finally, when it was released, and we could build.
Yeah.
The new contractors that we got, everybody got COVID, so they couldn't start building again.
Oh my gosh.
So like I said, when Juneteenth, when we had our grand opening, I never forget, CMAC came up to me and he said to me, Brenda, I know it took 16 years for that, but this is the weekend it was supposed to happen, Juneteenth weekend. So we have our annual celebration every Juneteenth, and we have 2 exhibitions a year. The first one is generally Memorial Day weekend, which is going to come up, and Mayoa is going to be a solo exhibition, and he's amazing. And
it's his first solo exhibition
in the Hamptons.
And I saw a private tour of his artwork just now.
It's amazing.
It's really good. It's really great.
It's good.
Yeah. I love the one, not a criminal, not a saint, and he's blindfolded. And it's like it's black and white. Not a criminal, not a saint. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. He's amazing. And he's so excited. And again, like I said earlier, I really love to promote young people and young artists. And he's off the chain excited that he's having his first solo exhibition here in the Hamptons. So today was running around trying to get the A-frame together, trying to really prepare for the opening, which is going to be May 25th. And the actual museum will be opening officially on May 24th. And fast forward, July 19th and 20th. If you're not doing anything, you got to get here. I collaborate with the Southampton Arts Center and Art Soul Hamptons. I have to shout out Yaya Reyes.
Yeah.
She's an extraordinaire coordinator. She's amazing. And she's been such a blessing to me and our museum. She has really brought, this is 3 years we've been collaborating together. And she's brought so many people from California, from Maryland, from Virginia, from Pennsylvania. I mean, literally people fly.
From the Grammys.
Yes.
Grammy.
That's where she's from.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
So July 19th and 20th, if you get a chance, go to Art Soul IG and you can get a sneak peek of what's up to come. And I'll give you one little hint. Art Sims is going to be the first. She has a two-day program, a 2-day event where the first night we're going to be at Southampton Arts Center. And Art Sims is the illustrator for all of Spike Lee's movies.
Wow.
He's amazing.
Wow.
So we're going to be honoring him. We're going to have a talk back with him. We're going to have all of his different illustrating posters all over the grounds at the Southampton Arts Center.
I'm gonna come shoot the. I'm gonna be the director and producer and create a short film.
Okay.
I hope I'm in America.
Okay.
I'm supposed to be in Europe, but we'll see.
And so, and then we're gonna have.
I'll send someone. If I'm not, I'll be like you in St. Martin when you organize the kids and the thing. I'll produce it. I'll direct it and produce it. I'll be in Europe, but I'll have my DP come and shoot all the shots.
Let's do it.
I'll produce it for you.
Let's do it.
Done. Done.
And so you're gonna have all these different chefs. We're gonna have the music. We're gonna have the beautiful Dwayne Kerr is a flutist for. He used to be a flutist for. Oh God, I lost her name. Anyway,
take your time.
She's an amazing. What is her name? Erykah Badu.
Oh, I love her.
He used to be flutist for Erykah Badu. So he's going to be playing. And then on Saturday, we have an art crawl. And the art crawl consists of they come and get a tour here at the Southampton African American Museum. And then they go to the Southampton Arts Center. And they go to another cute little place called Hidden Gems. I want to do a shout out to them too. They're two young Black sisters who have a beautiful store on Job's Lane. Amazing.
We have to go.
Products in there. So then after that,
where is it located?
It's right on Job's Lane.
No, where?
It's down Davis Court. They call it Davis Court.
Wait, in Southampton?
Right in Southampton.
Oh, we have to go there.
We can go there.
Yeah, we'll go there.
We can go there.
Okay, cool. Are they? What time are they open till?
They might be closed now. They might be closed now.
Okay.
So from there,
right here,
we have lunch at 75 Main. And then after that is a small little break in between. And then, drum roll, we have an open exhibition here with Alvin Clayton. And it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a Caribbean theme. I mean, everything. When you walk on these grounds, you're going to think you're in Jamaica, or you might think you're in St. Martin, because it's going to be beautiful. And he's amazing.
Okay, if people don't know who this artist is, let's hear about it right now. Shout out.
Alvin Clayton. Yeah. I can't even describe him. I would suggest you go online and check him out. Because on top of that, he used to be a model. On top of that, he owns his own restaurant in Westchester. But his art is amazing. Actually, I can say this much. I don't know how many people have watched the Best Man movie. Best Man movie has a lot of gorgeous.
The Best Man?
Best Man movie.
Less Man?
Best
Man
Best
movie?
Man movie.
No, I think like not Best in Show. That's different. Best in Show. That's different. Best
Man movie.
I haven't seen it. I'll have to look it up.
Best Man is two. They have all the most gorgeous Black men. And I've seen the movie 5 million times. Anyway, they actually rented out some of his paintings, and they're in that movie, in that film.
Wow.
And 2 of them.
Oh.
So he's that good.
We'll put his link in the show notes too. That sounds really good.
So that's going to be amazing. Going to have chefs out here.
And that's a 2-day event?
2-day event, July 19th and 20th. You don't want to miss it. So you go to Art Soul Hamptons, and the tickets are available now.
And we'll put it in the show notes so people can click and find that out. So.
And then July 25th, I believe it is, that Thursday, we have our annual Founders Circle fundraiser event, which is great. And I'm not sure exactly where that's going to be yet. Probably going to find that out next week when we have our meeting. But we have a lot of wonderful things. The tours are great. You come here, you can get a private tour. You can have a group tour. You have to go online and book the tour. If you have a group tour, though, you can go online to email me direct, and we can work that out when it's a group tour. But it's amazing. You know, I'm just really excited about where we've come from, from 3 years. Originally we used to just do film festivals before we had an actual building, film festivals and spoken word and live jazz. But I'm also a poet.
Oh, one of my friends who's on the live right now, he's a spoken word poet.
Hey.
He's African-American. Hey. He was on my podcast.
Okay.
I'm going to hook you up with him immediately because he can come perform spoken word.
Oh, for sure.
He's like in New York, he's not far.
What's his name?
Jaquair. He's right here.
Hi, Jaquair.
Yeah.
Hey.
Gillette. He's like right there. That's him right there. He
hey,
joined.
hey.
Yeah. So you have to You have to follow him. He'll follow you.
Okay.
He's a spoken word poet. We'll have him come perform at the event if he's in town, and just be a part, of the museum. Who knows? Maybe like do some spoken word and then have it on a screen where it loops. That could be super cool. Also, I wanted to mention, you can even have birthday parties here. Last year, one of our friends, Safia, she had her birthday party here, and that's how Brenda and I met last year here in Southampton. If you're just tuning in, we're in Southampton. Thank you so much for joining us. We are in Southampton, and Brenda is the founder and executive director of the Southampton African American Museum. And it's the first African American museum here in the Hamptons. So it's so exciting. It's such a treat to be with her and hear her story and her journey, and just hold space to listen where they came from, where they are, where they're growing to. And, for just, to be friends and have me be a part of it, and just like connect as many people I know that can add value to, the evolution of life and history. This is a dream come true. Yeah.
It is. When I think about even the community right here, it used to be an all Black community, and unfortunately now it's being gentrified. But that whole field right where I'm looking at now used to be a whole potato field. Used to be all potato field.
Wow.
And that was a mess, most of the industry that was here. A lot of people would come migrate here during the potato season and work and then leave.
Yeah.
But this whole area was all potato field, and there was a house that was right there. It's gone down now.
Yeah.
But that was the first house that came here, and most of the people.
It was the first house.
The first house on the hill here.
Oh wow.
The Black community.
Yeah.
And most of the people that are Black people who came here either from North Carolina, South Carolina, or Virginia. And my family came from Virginia. That's where my aunt came.
Oh.
And most time, just to share with people who probably know or don't know this, most time during the Great Migration, the oldest sibling comes first.
When was that?
That was in the 40s and 50s.
Oh yeah.
So what happens is that generally the oldest sibling will come first and establish a home or apartment and find a job, and then the other siblings would follow. So my first auntie came.
What's her name? Let's give her a shout
Evelyn
out.
Baxter. Evelyn Baxter. She's no longer with us, but she's always with me, always.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we should put a photo of her here.
She's in the front.
Oh, okay. Then
she's here.
she already knows.
She's here.
She already knows the vibes.
So my auntie came.
Jaquair said hi.
Hi.
I just produced for you to be a part of the African American Museum here in Southampton and to do spoken word. So I hope you were tuning in for that, but I'm going to connect you with Brenda immediately.
For sure.
You're going to love that.
So generally, my oldest aunt, Florence, we call her Aunt Finny fondly, she came and established in Harlem. So I spent a lot of time in Harlem. So then my aunt Evelyn Baxter came. She got her beautician license in the city, and she came to Southampton. I always figured out, how'd she get to come to Southampton? She married Mr. Emmanuel Seymour, who was the one who actually came and purchased and built his property, married his cousin.
Oh.
So she married Emmanuel Seymour's cousin.
How's her hair?
So that,
How's her hair?
How's her hair?
Her hair.
What do you mean?
Because he's the man who started the barbershop, right?
Yeah.
So did she get hookups on the hair?
She was the beautician here.
Oh, she was a beautician.
Yeah.
So her hair was good then.
Oh, she was amazing.
She had good hair.
She's no longer with us.
Yeah.
But the amazing thing about it too, so not only was she an awesome hairdresser, a beautician, but she was also such a sweet, loving, and she also taught us how to be a lady. She taught us how we should sit, how you should cross. I mean, she was just really elegant.
Well, give some tips to the ladies. What was the traditional?
Back then, it's very different than now. How to sit with your legs crossed. You don't sit with your legs open. That kind of thing. You sit with your legs closed.
Yeah.
You sit proper. You sit up proper,
Mm-hmm.
and you speak a certain way. And it was just not only that too. It was just manners and being polite. It's much different now. I'm not going to really get into that because there might be a lot of young people on here that might not want to hear what I have to say right now.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is respect. So much so that this side was the beauty parlor and the other side was the barbershop. there was a divide in the middle of this. Before it was renovated, it was a divide in the middle of this building, right?
Mm.
So we really was not allowed to go on the men's side.
Oh.
Because young ladies don't go over to the men's side.
Right.
But because I worked basically and volunteered for my auntie, every so often she would ask me to bring something over to Mr. Emmanuel. So I got to peek in and hang out a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are different times.
Yeah.
That's why I like to hear the stories.
There was a lot
to
of
see how
times.
different the times are.
But the other thing that still happens now, I believe, is the barbershop was a gathering place, like a community center back in the day, because during that time we were still having that, the racism and the segregation that was going on. So this was really like a home base, a community center for a lot of the Blacks in this community. And I found that also. I want to shout out Randy Conquest, because after Emmanuel Seymour decided to sell the barbershop, Randy Conquest was the last owner of the barbershop. And he was an amazing, amazing community person. He taught a lot of people, encouraged them how to vote and the importance of education. And also he was instrumental in getting 3 young men their barber license, and 2 of them to this day still have their own barbershops.
Oh, where?
One is in Riverhead, and the other was in Gordon Heights.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
So, this is what a lot of people don't understand. Maybe they just think you go to a barbershop and get your hair cut. But some people probably watching this, you guys know the significance of barbershops and beauty parlors. You know.
No, I know. I grew up in Michigan, and like it was a thing when we were kids. Like my uncle, like we're Greek. It was a thing. Like my uncle went to this guy, and then like he took my cousins, and my brother would go. It was like, and they went, and then in the plaza where it was, there was like the collectible cars, and they would go and they would get baseball cards. So they loved going to get their haircut buzzed every few weeks, and it was like a Sunday where the girls did their own thing, and then the boys would go to the barber shop, and it was like a thing, and we'd go to the mall like after something, or the girls would be at the mall and they would go to the barber shop. It's a thing. Like going to the barber shop for men, I know, is a thing. It still is.
And for women too, it's a thing. The other thing I want to bring in as a history, and we have all that history information on the wall here at the museum when you come and check it out.
IRL people, IRL.
The history of the barbershop now is interesting. That back in the day, barbers were the first entrepreneurship that most Black people could do during that time, and they made money.
Wow!
But the sidebar of this is, most of their clients were white.
Oh,
and you think you understand that in a sense, because they were able to pay, and that's what they're able to continue their business. But the other sidebar is that the white clients never wanted Black people to be in the barbershop when they were getting their hair done. And that's fact.
I feel the facts. I hear the facts. I have a question. What currency would they pay? Cash? Like, how did they accept the money back then?
Well, I wasn't there, to be honest with you.
Right.
So I'm sure it was just money. I'm sure it was cash. But you never know. Back then, they could have been, giving them a cow or who knows.
Yeah.
Giving them, but pretty much, I'm pretty sure it was
a cow, a potato farm. Yeah, that's funny.
You can use your imagination, but I'm pretty sure it was money. Pretty sure it was money. But the point I'm making.
No, because you said entrepreneurship, so I thought that could be like the fastest way for them to make cash.
Like, for sure.
It was like the way that they. That's what I was thinking. That's why it connected me to.
It was business.
The most successful way.
Exactly.
An African American man could make money.
It was business. Yeah. And back then, of course, it was so many restrictions with Jim Crow and all these other things that was significant for a Black person to be able to have their own business.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even to have, their clients are, I wouldn't restrict. Money is green, right?
Yeah. It is. Yeah. And then we have like crypto and that whole new wave of money, which is a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
Cool. I am so grateful for you spending time with me. Okay. So any other stories that you want to share before we wrap up? Anything else you want to share? It's going to be an exciting season here in the Hamptons.
Oh, it really, really is. And you realize, again, you got to get out here. The website is www.saamuseum.org. And off the top of my head, I'm trying to remember our IG.
IG
is underscore
SASS
SAAAN.
SAAAN. Oh, there's merch. You can go to the
museum.
website and get some merch.
Yes. Well, we don't have the merch on the website.
We don't have the merch store yet?
Not yet, but you can come here and get it. We're working on that.
Or we can mail it.
And we have so many challenges, but so many great things that are up and coming. And so you just got to get here. It's beautiful in Southampton, as you know.
Yeah.
And it's either you can go to the Jitney, you take the train. And believe it or not, the Long Island Railroad is walking distance. It's right down the road from the museum.
I think people are starting to come right now. They're on their way here. And then also, if you're able to sponsor and donate and support the museum and the kids and the BIPOC communities, definitely contact Brenda here at the museum. She's the founder and executive producer. I said executive producer, executive director.
but I do have a TV show.
But I'm producing over here.
But I do have a TV show.
Tell me about the TV show.
Val Voices of Wisdom, and all my shows on YouTube, about 40 shows on YouTube. I've been doing it for 15 to 20 years.
Okay, so everything, the social media, her TV show, everything will be in the show notes for sure. Definitely pick up some merch. There's the white cap. There's 2 different black ones. They obviously don't have sweatshirts yet, but
we're working on it.
I'm gonna be the first one to collect one. But yeah, so we're gonna have Brenda back on the podcast. But if you're an artist and you have ideas, just give a ring, pitch your idea to do an exhibition, a showcase, music, spoken word, physical art, just contact the museum. They're here to support, like she said, younger people. If you are watching this or hearing this and you have an artist friend or a musician friend and, they want more exposure and to connect with community, that's why, obviously hearing this beautiful story, it's what it's about. So to be a part of curations, collaborations, and, she also mentioned the other, people in Southampton she's connected with. So, it'd be great for you to meet these people and go to some of the festivals and eat some good food, listen to some great music, and be one of the performers.
And before I go, I cannot go by without, you look in the background, you'll see a mural in the background, and the mural is amazing. It's amazing, amazing, amazing mural. And I want to say David Martin from the reservation produced this beautiful, beautiful mural. And if you look on, you'll see the gentleman in the ship. His name is Pierce Concert. The gentleman there in the ship in the brown and the hat. His name is Pierce Concert. And he's a former slave that was born here in Southampton, March 17, 1814. Became a whaler, an entrepreneur, and a philanthropist. And I'm going to spell his name because I want you to look him up. It's Pyrrhusconcer. One more time. Pyrrhusconcer. Please Google him. There's so much to this story. And the only thing I'll say is he owned a home here, and unfortunately it got torn down, and we're in the process of trying to rebuild it. And I'll just keep on the positive note with that. But you'll see my auntie in the green. Let me just point up here. This is my auntie there in the green. This is my mom, and this is my dad. My dad owned a juke joint in East Hampton where James Brown, Aretha Franklin, Ike and Tina Turner performed in the 60s, as well as in the Loving Spoonfuls. And that's a whole nother story. And if you get a chance, you can get this book, and all that information about my dad is in this book. And I'm very good friends with Stephen Boone, who wrote that book, who's the bass player of
Hotter Than a Match Head.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Boone.
Mm-hmm.
Life on the Run with the Lovin' Spoonful.
And the story of that is I never knew, because I was like only 8 years old or so when all this happened. And my sister and I decided to have this conversation whether my dad owned the restaurant and he was a great cook. And so I Googled my dad's name, Noah Simmons.
He said the muralist is Shancock Peoples?
Yes, some of it. Some of it. Well, the gentleman who made it, the gentleman who designed the mural, was from Shinnecock Reservation. No one in their mural is Shinnecock. But the mural was produced by David Martine. Amazing, amazing gentleman.
So explain Shinnecock since you brought it up.
Shinnecock is an Indian reservation here, and they have an awesome powwow, and that usually powwow is Labor Day weekend, so that's another reason to come out here.
It's another podcast episode.
But the Shinnecock Reservation has been around, obviously, way before anybody else was here, so we won't go there today, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, they have an amazing reservation. It's really, really great. So if you ever come here, after you have the visit here at the tour at the museum, there's also a place called Ma's House on the reservation, and it's an amazing place to go. They have artist residence there. There's so much here in Southampton, so you got to come here for maybe a week.
A week.
At least a week.
Yeah, right.
But even at least I know that's crazy, right? To even say that.
Yeah.
But at least you have to come at least for the 19th and the 20th.
For sure. 1,000. Love all that. Cool. All right. Well,
Anybody have any questions?
Yeah. Anyone have any questions? I guess while we're here on the live, does anyone have any questions? There's such a sexy accent. I think someone's saying you have a very sexy accent.
Oh, baby.
Yes, the barbershop is our country club. You're incredibly sexy. Okay, let me know when you're in Europe. Oh my God. I loved you in The Bad Lieutenant with Nicolas Cage. Okay. Oh, questions.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Yes. Love. Thanks for all the love. We love you. Thanks for all that jazz. Woo. Okay. Cool. Yeah, well, that's today's episode, and we're gonna have Brenda on again. She is a friend of my heart right here, and we're gonna keep it rocking and rolling. So spread the good word. Please share this episode with at least one or two people, at least. And like I said, connect on social medias. And if you have an idea to perform, add value, donate, support, have your work exhibited here in Southampton at the very first African American Museum, we would love to hear from you.
Thank you.
All right, bye. We're leaving.
Au revoir.